Hey y'all, what's up? Welcome back. I hope that all y'all are doing okay in the midst of this pandemic. It's crazy, a lot of unexpected things, whether it's financial or just grieving or anything like that. Whatever you guys are going through, if you're going through something, I'm extending my support to you guys, my thoughts, my prayers, all of that good stuff. This video is going to be about virtual interviewing. So I actually just had a virtual interview, and being the Aries that I am and over analytical and criticizing myself, I figured let me come on here and share some of the information that I feel like I should have done better that may benefit you guys, because I want you guys to get jobs and to live your life and flourish and all that good stuff. Let's get right into this topic, because these virtual interviews are going to be a lot more common since this pandemic is going on indefinitely. People who do not want to meet up face to face or risk the chance of capturing the virus. So be prepared for these types of interviews and these types of formats. So tip number one, make sure that you have a quiet space that you can make your interview go on in. There's nothing worse, I feel like, from the interviewer standpoint, to be trying to focus on what you're saying and then there's little kids running behind you, your mom is busting in and knocking on the door, your phone is ringing, maybe there's some traffic outside making noises. Like, to the best of your ability, try to keep the space that you're interviewing in very controlled, meaning like quiet and easy to focus on the main person speaking, which is you. So that's tip number one. Number two, make sure you have internet connection. And when I say that, like, make sure it's a stable internet connection. If it's like choppy, you're gonna have it going in and out, and it's gonna be really hard for the employer to be listening to what you're saying and understanding exactly the points that you're trying to make. So make sure that you have stable internet connection. And on that same note, make sure that your device, whether it's your phone, your laptop, your desktop, whatever, is fully charged and it's not going to die, because if it dies in the middle of the interview is over. They're not going to have it come right back up. It's over. Make sure that your stuff is working. So whatever you're using, whether it's Zoom, whether it's I don't know, Google Hangout, Google Meets, whatever, make sure that your audio is working. So you could very well be talking, like if I'd be talking to you right now, my mouth is moving and no audio is coming out, you'd be very confused. Make sure your audio and that the camera is working. I always like to do a little test run, like kind of view. So I don't know like what devices you guys use, but I have a MacBook. You can open up your MacBook and like flip it to photo booth, so you can see what they're gonna see from that angle, because you never know like what's gonna be in the background. So you wanna be able just to get that little heads up, the little test view before you get into your actual interview, because believe it or not, like, they are going to be judging everything, not just you. So that actually leads me into the next tip, which is make sure your background looks clean. So right now, this is my room. I'm chilling. I'm comfortable with my subscribers, so I don't care if y'all see my room. But an employer can get a really good grasp of who you are based on what is going on around you. So if you have something that doesn't look very neat or tidy, then they might actually be judging that, saying, oh, like, is that how her office is gonna look, or is that how his office is gonna look? Just like your first impression goes a long way, and that's based off of how you present yourself and how you speak and communicate, it's the same thing with how you keep your space, if you're allowing them to see that space. So whatever you don't want them to see, or whatever you do want them to see, make sure that you are prepared in that sense as well. So prepare yourself and prepare your room or your space that you're interviewing in. I would make sure that your phone is on silent too. That's a common mistake. You get really anxious when you're going through your interview process and you kind of just want to get it over with. So like, make sure that you put your phone on silent before. So just in case somebody texts you, you get an Instagram notification, TikTok or whatever, like make sure that you have your phone on silent so it doesn't interrupt your train of thought, the interview, or the employer's thoughts. I want to say that you really want to make sure that you're engaged when you are doing your interview. So what that looks like, especially through like these virtual interviews, make sure that you're looking at the camera lens. So I don't know like where people's camera lenses are, but usually it's in the center of the laptop, right in the middle. You want to make sure you're looking at that lens, because it makes them feel like you're looking at them directly. If you're looking off in different directions, maybe like this, or you're looking down because you have notes, or just anything, like it can come across as though you're not invested, you're not interested, and that you really don't want to be doing the interview. And I'm sure that that's not the case, because why would you be interviewing for a position that you don't want? So make sure that your nonverbals are accurate with how you are feeling. And even if sometimes your nonverbals aren't like consistent with how you're really feeling, you want to be very conscious of that and aware of what that may look like. You want to make sure that your interview space or wherever you're interviewing has good lighting. I feel like when they do this interview, they're trying to see who you are as a person and kind of see what you look like, get a glimpse of, you know, how you carry yourself and things like that. So it's really important that when you're doing it, that you have it well lit, because if it's dimly lit or it's dark or it's hard for them to see you, I just feel like it's not a good look. So just make sure it's well lit wherever you're doing it. It doesn't even have to be a ring light. It can strictly just be like in front of a window, or, you know, just turn on every light that's inside of your room to make sure it's well lit. Because that just ties into the overall thing of being like, you know, having everything together. So those are just the basics. The couple of things that I would have done inside the interview that I had today that I didn't do, looking back, that I feel like would have been a good idea, would be one, to formally introduce yourself. So the interview that I had was through a third-party software, so I didn't actually interact with the person. It was just like questions, and it was automated, so you answer the questions and you stop recording and you go on bit by bit. What I would have done prior to getting started was introduce myself, kind of set that tone and show that you're personable. I feel like anybody, and no matter what like field that you work in, people want somebody who's a people person. They don't want to work with somebody who is off-putting or like, you know, just very into themselves. They want somebody who can be compassionate and somebody that's able to be like a team player. So you want to be able to show that through the first couple of seconds. So for example, hello all to whoever is viewing this. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to interview. I'm hoping during this pandemic that you and your loved ones are doing well. I just wanted to express my concerns and my thoughts to you before we get into this interview. So to answer the first question, blah, 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 blah. That shows, before you just go right into business, that it's very like, you know, like you care about the person that you're talking to. And I feel like that just gives you a little bit extra points. And then I would also say, before your virtual interview, do your research. Do your research on the company that you're applying to. I don't mean that you have to know their extensive history. I mean, if you learn that, I think that that's great too. But you should at least know, like, you know, their mission statement and the type of language that they use within their mission statement. And just little things like that, because it's important. Next, I would say make sure that you look appropriate with your outfits. Make sure that your nails are somewhat clean. They're looking at that. Make sure that your nails aren't chipped. Make sure you're not too heavy-handed on the makeup. Make sure that, like, you know, your hair doesn't look too like disheveled or like crazy. You want to make sure that you look very like presentable, just because that is how they're going to judge you. And people say like not to judge a book by its cover, but that's exactly what an interview is. Those first couple of seconds, they are judging the life out of you. They're making sure that you're competent enough and that you are professional enough to work inside their environment. So I would just say make sure that you look right as far as what you're wearing, your hygiene, your self-hygiene, and make sure that, like, you know, you're not doing anything that's too crazy or distracting for the interview. This is a personal preference that I would say is the next one. I would make sure that during your interview, depending on the location and the job that you're trying to obtain, you could take out your piercings if you have some. You could take out you can cover your tattoos if you have them. It just depends though on the work setting that you're trying to go into, and I think it also depends on like the types of things that you have. Like, I don't know, you're gonna have to use like your judgment for that, but some people find tattoos and piercings to be off-putting. Personally, I don't. Obviously I have them, but let's say the person employing you finds them to be offensive and you interview and you're a really good candidate, but they just don't like tattoos and you have yours showing, that could automatically disqualify you, even though they're not supposed to do that because that's discrimination. But people do, so just be aware of that. You just want to be able to put all the attention on you as a person and what you can offer to the job. So I would just say be conscious of that, be conscious of yourself, how you're carrying yourself, down to your hair, your accessories. Like, I probably wouldn't wear these in an interview. These are very big and distracting. You know, like your outfit, your self-hygiene, your surroundings behind you, maybe the things that they may be able to hear if like you have a lot of people in your home, things like that. I don't think that I missed anything, but I just wanted to hop on here and tell you guys that if you watched to this point, thank you. And I want to say thank you for the success of my last video. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for continuously subscribing. I believe the last time I checked I was at 4,500 or just around there, so thank you for that. I do want to do a 5K giveaway, so please comment below some of the things that you guys would like to have inside the giveaway. I need to start thinking of my ideas because 5K is an accomplishment. Like, we're almost at 10K. Like, this is crazy. So to y'all that actually do watch and comment and all that stuff, thank you so much. And I'm just gonna close the video out because my camera's about to die. So I love you all. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and click that bell so you can be notified every single time I post. And I will catch y'all in the next video.